I didn't set out to find a new aesthetic. It sort of found me. For months, I've been saving images on Pinterest without realizing they shared a language. Hard edges, soft light, structure and romance tangled together. It wasn't minimalism, but it wasn't cozy maximalism either. Then one night I saw an article. Pause. That's a lie. I didn't come across an article. I actually came across Romantic Brutalism through a comment on one of my TikTok videos. I was asking the community what this style is. Did it have a name? Where did it come from? Was I going crazy, and was I the only one who was gravitating towards spaces like this? Turns out I wasn't. One of you commented, "This looks like Romantic Brutalism." And that is when I went on a hunt for more information about this style. Did it just one day appear out of nowhere? And that is when I came across this article about a recent exhibition called Romantic Brutalism. When I laid eyes on these spaces, it was like someone finally named what I'd been feeling. That quiet tension between beauty and honesty. Brutalism began in architecture. Massive, raw, unapologetic. Concrete was left unpainted. Forms were exposed, and it was all about truth over polish.
I would tend to think of brutalism more as an art tendency than anything else. The main monuments of brutalism are so much more than functional architecture.
Romanticism was the opposite. It was about emotion, softness, and art aimed to move you. This is my dog Macy. Tell her she's cute.
And most of the visual arts of this movement basically shared two characteristics. First, art is the outer manifestation of the artist's inner feelings. And second, art must display emotion, warmth, and movement, which of course is a fundamental rejection of the neoclassical movement's emphasis on restraint and symmetry. And music was also changed by the Romantic movement as well, and perhaps no other composer did more to change it during this period than Ludwig van Beethoven. At the beginning of his career as a composer, Beethoven's music reflected the restrained classicism of his teachers and influences. But by 1804, he was composing music squarely in the Romantic strain, which was able to produce fear and rapture and pain and longing in his audience.
Romantic Brutalism merges both worlds. It's structure and sentiment. A cool material made warm by intention. A room that feels like both armor and heart. We've spent years curating perfection. White walls, round edges, beige comfort. Spaces that photograph well, but don't always feel alive.
Another reason we don't build homes like we used to is that we've lost much of the architectural literacy that once informed home design. In the past, architects and builders were deeply influenced by classical principles of proportion, symmetry, and ornamentation. These concepts were taught as part of a well-rounded education, even to those who weren't directly involved in construction. Today, architecture has largely moved away from these traditions in favor of modernist ideals that emphasize simplicity and functionality.
As the editors for M+1 magazine write, if it's cheaper to assemble concrete panels than to hire bricklayers, cityscapes will eventually contain fewer bricks. The unromantic aspect of this agenda is that a lot of these artists and designers started to think of the world as a machine.
I think Romantic Brutalism is the reaction to that. It's design that says, I'm tired of pretending, tired of surfaces with no story, tired of spaces that never breathe out of place. It's that friction between order and intimacy, cold meeting warm, masculine meeting feminine, digital life meeting something antique and emotional. The reason it works is because it's rooted in duality. Brutalism teaches restraint, the beauty of structure, the honesty of materials. Romanticism brings vulnerability, the willingness to express feeling. It's a reminder that our home can hold contradictions. I think I love it because it feels honest. I've always been drawn to things that don't fully make sense together. Romantic brutalism feels like growing up. Still romantic, but not as idealistic. It's vulnerable, but doesn't beg to be liked. And that's the energy I want in my space. If you were to try incorporating this style into your space, I would start first with texture over color. Go for something raw and unfinished. Right now I'm loving unfinished sculptural art, hanging prints from the ceiling that aren't in a frame but rather drape over like a luxurious duvet cover, or pairing raw, harsh materials with delicate, soft fabrics. Romantic brutalism reminds me that beauty isn't always gentle. Sometimes it's the weight of stone, the sharpness of form, the shadow that refuses to disappear. But inside all of that, there's emotion, warmth, memory, kind of quiet poetry that happens when opposites meet halfway. Maybe that's why I'm drawn to it, because I want my space to feel human, structured, imperfect, and full of contradictions. Maybe this is what it means to find a style. Not something you choose, but something that finds you.